Hi friends, welcome to the free automation learning channel, and this is Chirag. So today we are going to discuss about iframes. So how can we handle frames? So today agenda is what is a frame and use of it. So what is the frame, iframe, how we can use it, how developer use it, what is the use of using these iframes. So we will discuss this point and how we can handle iframe through Selenium Webdriver, because if we directly try to uh, navigate or try to find any web element which is present in any frame or iframe, then we are not able to do through Selenium WebDriver. So we have to switch into that frame, and then we have to identify or do what we want to do in that frame, right? So how we can handle iframes through Selenium WebDriver, we will discuss this. And what is the different method to use. By using this method we can handle iframe. So there are three method, which is a frame, parent frame, and default content. So what is the use of this method, we will discuss this. So firstly let me introduce or show what is the iframe. So friend, iframe means this is a technology which is inline frame, and it is developed by the developer because in sometimes they want to just refresh or just want to refresh one session or one portion of the application. Suppose there is an application and where there is a any advertisement session. So any new ad comes at that session. So developer do not want, or product manager do not want to refresh complete application. They just want to refresh at that particular session. So this by this iframe we can just refresh, or we can just work at that particular session. So let me show you on the application. This is a demo application, and for the iframe, so you can see that there are two applications. First, this is the application, and inside this frame there is another application, right? So if I'm going to click on here, so you can see that this main application is not changed, but the application inside this frame would change, right? So let me click on this download. Now you can see the URL or main application would not change, but this application page has been changed. So this is the useful for the iframe, right? Now let me show you the method. So basically, what is the method? The method of iframe is inside in this target locator. This is a frame. To switch into a frame, we can switch by three different way. We can either enter or pass index in which frame we want to enter, and we also give the string, the ID or anything string we want to, if there is a unique things in that frame, or we just switch by the web element, right? So this is the three way how we can switch into that particular frame, right? Now what is a parent frame method? Parent frame method is, suppose there is a multiple frame. Let me show by this window. So this is suppose there is a main application and there is a four frame. This is one iframe, there is second, third, fourth. So this is a fourth iframe. So if I come into the application and I have to use in this, I have to work on this iframe, right? So for this I have to switch into this iframe, and after this iframe, and do what I want to do. So this by for switching we have a frame method, right? And now I'm talking about the parent frame. Suppose I have to switch on this iframe 2, so I can use parent frame, right? By using parent frame I will switch back to the parent of that frame, right? Now there is another method which is known as a default content. What is the default content method? Default content method means if I am present in this here, if I have to switch into the most top of the application of the frame, so then at that time I have to switch and use default content method. So hopefully you can understand what is the difference between frame, parent frame and default content method in Selenium WebDriver, right? So just this is the theory part, and you can understand what is the frame, iframe, and now let me show you by the practical how we can handle this frame. So let me close this method. I will show you again. I am going to create a new class for the tutorial 26. I would like to present include main method and also want to generate comments. So this is my class. So first I am going to declare WebDriver variable. Now I am going to create a new method which is known as setup. Here I am going to invoke Firefox. Now I have to maximize the window. Now I will pass the URL of the application and will set the implicit wait. I have set 30 seconds into an implicit wait. Right, now let me copy the URL which I am going to use for this demo. So this is my application. Friends, first I am going to show you what is the why we use iframe, or why we switch frame into Selenium. If we do not switch the frame, so what would be the error? So I'm going to show you first, right? So I'm going to create a new method so that you can easily understand why we use frame in Selenium WebDriver, why we have to switch the into that frame to work at that method. Suppose this is my application, right? Now I have to check whether this tweet button is present or not. I go and I clicked on here and clicked. So this is my tweet button. If I see, I have seen that this button is inside in this frame, right? So here if you can see that this is the tag and this is the frame, and we have to switch into this frame to work into that Twitter, but I'm not here to show to switch into this frame because I have to fail my script and show the difference. If we do not switch into a frame, what would be the output? If we switch into the frame, so what would be the output, so that you guys easily understand what is that difference between, and why we use iframe or why we use switch into a frame in Selenium WebDriver. So let me expand this is a tweet. I'm going to create my own XPath for the check why it is not showing. Right, so this would be my the output. Now I am just going and just syso driver dot find element dot xpath, and I will check if is displayed or not. For this I'm going to create an object of my current class so that I can call above method which I have created. First I will call, let me call setup method. Now we dot this test frame method. So guys, this web element is inside into a frame, so we need to switch into that frame, but currently I do not switch into this frame because I have to show what would be the output if you do not switch into that frame, right? So I'm just showing you the error message. So I am run the code and Firefox will launch. Now the website URL will open soon. And it will wait for 30 seconds because I have given an implicit wait for 30 seconds. It will wait for 30 seconds either this web element is displayed or not. So guys, this is the important because now the application has been developed in by using a frame, because any developer or any product manager do not want to uh, refresh its complete application. It just refresh the small part of that application. So you can see that this method, this exception has occurred, unable to locate a element by using this, right? So this is the expected behavior because I do not switch into a frame. Now I'm going to switch a frame. So driver dot switch to by frame. Here I'm switching by string. So let me write this, switch into tweet frame, and I have to identify what would be the name of that frame. So let me again click on this, let me click on this, and I have to go. So this would be the my frame value. I will copy this string and will pass on here. So I will run again. Let me, I will run this code again and we'll see what would be the output when we switch into that Twitter frame, right? So I run this code again and Firefox browser will open soon with the URL, application URL. So it has been loaded. Now let me see this and see what would be the output. It will fire an exception or it will see that this tweet XPath is present or not, right? So sometimes it takes times, and now you see that there is no output, no exception has occurred. Let me expand this and true. It means that it successfully go to and search that display tweet. So this is our result, expected result, right? Because we have to switch into that frame and this will ask. Now friend, I'm tell you, just will create another method, public void find number frame or frame count. Here I am just driver dot find element by tag name. In some applications there is iframe and some application there would be a frame. So here I'm going to identify the number of the frame. So the, you can see we have to give the where is iframe. This is the iframe. I will pass iframe tag here and it give me the list how many iframe is present. Now I am going to int size is equal to list dot size SYSO number of frames. This would be a size. Now I'm and now I will identify this ID. So what would be the ID of that particular frame, it is present or not. So here I'm use for int I is equal to 0, I less than is equal to size minus 1 I plus plus. So by this way you can easily identify how many frames are present, or if there is ID is present, so what would be the ID of that frame in on the application, right? So I have to now SYO frame ID and driver dot just keeping these try and catch. If any exception comes, just print that exception. I already discussed how we can handle exception in Java or Selenium WebDriver. And guys, if you do not watch that video, please go and watch. So let me call this method. So this way you can identify how many frame present with their ID. So it is useful sometimes where we are not able to identify the frame or frame ID or any attribute. So by doing this way you can easily identify. So this is one of the good method or good code, so you can understand it by clone this code into your machine. I will upload this code into GitHub, right? So you can see there are number of frame are 4 and the ID is this and this. So by this way we can easily identify the index of the ID. So friend, for switching we have the 3 way to switch a method. First, index, we can pass a index. So sometimes it is difficult to identify the index because frame index works from 0 1 2 3. If there are 4 index for frame, so first frame index would be a 0 and another frame index would be a 1 2 and it is so on. So this is a one way to switch into that that particular frame, because after switching that frame we just set driver to focus on particular that frame, right? So this is one way to switch into a frame. Second way, just pass the string which I have passed in this way, and third is by passing web element. So let me create a new method to you and show the third way. Let me close this application. So this is my application. Suppose I have to click on this, right, and click on this login button. After that this window comes and I have to put username. So just give this, and what would be the, so by in this I am going to identify by class, because if you see that the ID of this frame is changed at every time. Here you can see CWYXM and here is VA, let me expand this, VAZPM. So here I am not using ID, I am using this class, right? So here I also discuss default content method. Why is the useful of default content method? So again I'm using this driver dot switch to default content, because in this line I switch to this frame, but you can see that this is another frame and this is the another frame. So I have to work in this frame, so I have to switch default content, right? Means a main frame. Switch to default frame. Now I'm going to use web element to switch into a frame. So driver dot find element by dot class name, and here. So now I'm going to, first I switch into this frame and identify whether this tweet is present or not. Right now I switch back to a default frame. Then again I switch into this frame and click on login button. So for this I'm switching. Let me write my command: switch to frame by web element. Switching to tweet frame by string. So again driver dot switch to frame. These are three methods: switch to frame by index int, switch to frame by string, switch to frame by web element. So here I'm switching by web element, right? So here I have switched. Now I will identify the XPath of this login. Text login. So here I have to click on login. Driver dot find element by dot XPath, and here I will click. Now again I have to enter the username in this. So username would be my name. I will identify username web element by name. And send keys test frame. Right. So now you can see the output. I'm going to run this and we'll discuss what would be the. Let me just comment this where I do not want to find out the frame. Now I have to find out whether this code is working or not. So this is the important things to work in frame. Hopefully you understand what is the concept between the iframe, why developer using iframe into their application, because they do not want to complete load their application and they just want to load their application by into a small session, the session which they want to load it, or they want to just work on it, right? So still my code is working. You see login button has been clicked and you can see that test frame. We have write the test frame. So this is my expected, right? And you can see the true, and this is the. So guys, this is the things how we can identify the iframe and how we can switch. So let me now comment this. Here I do not want to go to the my default frame. So what would be the, here it will give me the error because currently I am going to switch in this method. Then I'm trying to identify this web element. So my driver will understand that this web element is present into this frame, but it is present into different frame. So that's why I have to use this driver dot switch to default content because it just move back into a default frame, right? So guys, hope you understand this frame concept and you like my video. I'm going to upload this code into a GitHub. You can download from there, and you can just use this code into your machine or your workstation. Hopefully you like this video, and for thanks for watching this.